Some people leave this world without saying goodbye. Not because they don't want to, but because they believe there will always be another tomorrow. This is the story of a son. A son who spent his entire life chasing success, only to realize that the person he loved the most was quietly waiting for him at home. Every morning before school, his mother woke up before sunrise. She prepared breakfast while the rest of the neighborhood was still asleep. She ironed his uniform. She packed his lunch. She smiled, even on the days when she had nothing left to eat. He never noticed. To him, that was simply what mothers did. When he came home with good grades, she celebrated as if she had won the greatest prize in the world. When he failed, she never shouted. Instead, she sat beside him and whispered, "It's okay. Tomorrow is another chance." Those words became the reason he never gave up. Years passed. The little boy became a young man. He dreamed of a bigger city, a better life, a successful career. His mother never tried to stop him. She simply folded his clothes carefully into an old suitcase. Before he left, she slipped a tiny envelope into his pocket. "Open it only when you miss home." He laughed. "Mom, I'll be too busy to miss home." She smiled. But behind that smile, her heart quietly broke. The city welcomed him with bright lights, tall buildings, fast cars, and endless opportunities. He worked harder than anyone else. Late nights became normal. Coffee replaced sleep. Meetings replaced family dinners. Success slowly arrived. A better apartment. A new car. A growing bank account. Everything he had ever dreamed of. Except peace. Every evening his phone would ring. "Mom." Sometimes he answered. Sometimes he didn't. "I'm in a meeting. I'll call you later. I'm tired. I'll talk tomorrow. 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 Tomorrow." His mother never complained. She only said, "Don't forget to eat." Months became years. The calls became shorter. Then, they became text messages. "Good morning. Take care. God bless you." He usually replied with a simple heart emoji. He believed that was enough. One rainy evening, while cleaning his apartment, he found the old envelope his mother had hidden inside his suitcase years ago. It had never been opened. His hands trembled. He slowly unfolded the faded paper. Inside, there was only one sentence. "If one day you become too busy for me, don't worry. I'll still wait." He smiled sadly. "I should visit her next month." Next month. Those two words changed everything. Because life doesn't always wait for next month. The following morning, his phone rang. It wasn't his mother's number. It was a neighbor. His heart suddenly felt heavy. "Hello." The voice on the other end was shaking. "You need to come home. Your mother collapsed this morning." The world became silent. The traffic disappeared. The city lights no longer mattered. For the first time in years, he prayed, "Please, just let me see her one more time." He drove faster than he ever had before. Every mile reminded him of every phone call he had ignored. Every traffic light reminded him of every birthday he had missed. Every tear carried years of regret. For the first time, success felt completely worthless. Because some things money can never buy. And some people, once they're gone, no amount of success can ever bring them back. The road back home never felt this long. He gripped the steering wheel so tightly that his knuckles turned white. Rain kept falling, as if the sky itself was mourning something he hadn't yet fully understood. Every kilometer pulled him deeper into memories he had buried under work, success, and ambition. His mother's voice echoed in his mind. "Don't forget to eat. Are you sleeping well? Call me when you are free." He used to think those calls were ordinary. Now they sounded like prayers he never answered. The city behind him disappeared into distance. But something heavier was waiting ahead. Home. The word that once felt small now felt like a lifetime. When he finally reached the village, everything looked unchanged. The same narrow road. The same old trees. The same broken streetlight at the corner. But nothing felt the same inside him. A small crowd stood near his house. Whispers. Silence. Avoiding eye contact. That silence told him everything before anyone spoke a word. His legs moved before his mind could accept it. Step by step. Closer. Closer. Until he saw her. She was lying still. Too still. The woman who once woke up before dawn to prepare his future, was now resting in a silence that had no morning. "Mom." His voice broke before the word could finish. He fell to his knees. For a moment, the world stopped. No city. No success. No future. Only regret. Someone gently placed a hand on his shoulder. An old neighbor. "She waited for you," the neighbor said quietly. She kept asking, "Has my son called yet?" His chest tightened. "She didn't eat properly these last few days," she said. She didn't feel hungry. A pause. Then the words that shattered him completely. "But she always kept your favorite food ready, just in case you came home." He entered the house slowly. Everything was exactly as he left it years ago. But time had rewritten every corner. On the table, a cup of tea, half dried. A worn-out shawl folded neatly. And a small wooden box. His hands shook as he opened it. Inside, dozens of small papers. Receipts. Notes. And reminders written in his mother's handwriting. Buy medicine for son. Save money for his future. Pray for his success. Each line was a piece of a life he never noticed. A life spent quietly building his. At the bottom of the box, there was another envelope. This one had his name written in shaky letters. He opened it slowly. Inside was a letter. Short. Simple. My son. If you are reading this, I may not be here anymore. Don't cry too much. I was only waiting for you to become happy. That was enough for me. I never asked for your time. Only your happiness. If I ever made your life difficult, I am sorry. But loving you was the easiest thing I ever did. Please live your life without regret. Because I have already forgiven you. Long before you asked. The letter slipped from his fingers. He couldn't breathe properly. Outside, the rain continued. But inside him, something broke forever. Not just grief, but realization. He had spent years building a life, only to realize he had forgotten the person who built him. That night, he didn't sleep. He sat beside her room, waiting, as if she might still call out. As if the next, "Are you home yet?" would come from her voice again. But only silence answered. And for the first time in his life, he understood what true loneliness meant. Not being alone in a room, but being too late for someone who waited their whole life for you. Morning came, but he didn't feel it. There was no sunrise in his world anymore. Only silence. Only absence. Only the weight of everything he never said. He stayed in the same place all night. Beside the room she once lived in. Waiting for a sound that would never come again. Because deep down, he already knew. She was not coming back. The next day, he began walking through the house again. Not like a visitor, but like someone trying to understand a life he had ignored. Every corner had a memory. Every object had a story. And every story hurt. In the kitchen, he found a small notebook. Her handwriting again. Faded. Careful. Patient. He opened it. Rice, 3 cups. Eggs, 5 pieces. Chicken, for my son's favorite soup. Sugar, he likes it a little sweet. Salt, don't forget, he doesn't like it bland. Then another page. Today he called. His voice sounded tired. I hope he is eating well. Another page. He didn't call today. Maybe he is busy. I will not disturb him. Page after page. A life measured not in years, but in waiting. His hands trembled more with every line he read. Because he finally understood something terrifying. He was never just living his life. She was living it with him. From far away. Quietly. Without asking to be seen. He walked into her bedroom. The air felt heavier there. On the wall, a calendar. Almost every date had a small mark. Some days were circled. Some had tiny notes. He leaned closer. And froze. Son might call today. Maybe he will come home this month. Don't lose hope. Hope. That word broke him more than anything else. Because she had spent years surviving on it. While he had spent years forgetting it existed. He sank to the floor. And for the first time since he arrived, he cried without stopping. Not the quiet kind of tears, but the kind that comes when denial finally ends. I was busy. His voice cracked. I was just busy. But the house did not answer. Because the truth does not argue. It only stays. He remembered every ignored call. Every delayed reply. Every later. Every tomorrow. And suddenly, tomorrow became the most cruel word he had ever spoken. Outside, people began preparing things. White cloth. Silent footsteps. No loud crying. Just acceptance. He watched from the doorway. But he couldn't move. Because accepting her death meant accepting his absence. And he wasn't ready to forgive himself. A neighbor approached him gently. She used to sit here every evening, the neighbor said. Right at this spot. Waiting for your voice. A pause. Even when she was sick, she still asked if you had eaten. He closed his eyes. And saw her clearly. Not the lifeless body he saw yesterday. But the woman who always smiled when he came home. The woman who pretended not to be tired. The woman who made pain look gentle. For a moment, he whispered into the empty air. I'm home, Mom. But there was no reply. Not even the softest breath. Only wind. That night, he finally opened the last thing she left him. A small cloth bag. Inside it, his childhood belongings. A broken toy. Old school medals. And a faded photograph. Him as a child. Standing beside her. Both smiling. Both unaware of how quickly time would separate them. On the back of the photo, she had written, no matter how far he goes, he will always be my little boy. That was the moment something inside him completely collapsed. Not just sadness. Not just regret. But understanding. She never asked him to stay. She only wanted him to remember. And he hadn't. He stood up slowly. And walked outside. The sky was dark again. Not because of weather. But because of how he felt inside. For the first time, he spoke to her properly. Not as a memory. But as if she could still hear him. I'm sorry. I didn't know love was this quiet. I didn't know you were waiting this much. His voice broke again. I thought I had time. Silence answered. But this time, he didn't expect anything back. Days passed. But for him, time stopped the moment she left. The house no longer felt like a home. It felt like a memory that refused to fade. Every morning, he woke up expecting a message. Every evening, he reached for a phone that would never ring again. And every night, he sat in silence, listening to nothing. At first, he thought grief would fade. That pain would become lighter. That eventually, life would go back to normal. But he learned something different. Some losses don't fade. They settle. They become part of you. One morning, he found himself standing outside the house before sunrise. The same place she used to stand years ago. The kitchen window was still slightly broken. The same old wind moved through the trees. Everything looked unchanged. But he was not the same person anymore. He slowly walked into the village. People still remembered. They greeted him quietly. But no one knew what to say. Because some pain does not need words. It only needs time and understanding. He visited her grave that day. It was simple. No grand stone. No decoration. Just her name. And dates that now felt too small to contain a lifetime of love. He sat down slowly. Not crying this time. Just breathing. For the first time, accepting. I used to think success was everything, he whispered. I thought I was building my life. A long silence. But I was forgetting yours. He placed the old envelope she had once given him on the ground. The same one he opened too late. Then he smiled faintly through tears. I finally opened it. I just wish I had opened it earlier. A soft wind passed through. For a moment, it felt like a response. Not words. Not voice. But presence. Like she was there. Not gone. Just unseen. He closed his eyes. And remembered her last words from the letter. I never asked for your time, only your happiness. That was when he understood the deepest truth. She had never measured love in calls. Or visits. Or gifts. She measured it in hope. Even when there was nothing left to hope for. From that day onward, he changed. Not dramatically. Not loudly. But quietly. Like she used to live. He left the city. Returned to the village. Not to escape life. But to understand it properly. He started small work in the community. Helping children study. Repairing houses. Listening to people who had no one to listen to them. And every evening, he visited her. Not with regret anymore. But with conversation. About his day. About the children he helped. About the lives he tried to make a little easier. One day, a child asked him, "Why do you always come here?" He looked at the grave quietly. Then replied, "Because someone once waited for me every single day. And I never want anyone else to feel that waiting alone." Years passed. The pain didn't disappear. But it transformed. From regret. Into purpose. From silence. Into action. From loss. Into meaning. And sometimes, when the wind was just right, he would sit there quietly and say, "I heard you, Mom. I just heard you a little too late." But there was no anger anymore. Only gratitude. Because even though he lost her, he finally found what she had been trying to teach him all along. Love is not loud. It does not demand attention. It does not wait for perfect timing. It only waits for you to notice. Before it becomes a memory. And in the end, he realized something simple. The phone calls she made were never just questions. They were love. Every, "Have you eaten?" Every, "Take care." Every, "Call me when you are free." They were not ordinary words. They were a lifetime of devotion. hidden inside everyday silence. Some people don't leave you suddenly. They leave slowly, every time you say, later. And one day, you realize there is no later left. Only memories, and a voice you can no longer call back. The last phone call was never missed. It was simply never answered in time.